What if everything you believe about heaven is wrong? Forget that cliché image of white clouds, angels playing harps, and a dull eternity. The truth is that heaven is an incomparable place, full of surprises that challenge our imagination. The Bible reveals such extraordinary details about eternal life that, when you discover them, you'll ask yourself, why has no one ever told me this before? Imagine living in a body that feels no pain, never ages, and never gets tired. A place where the streets shine like pure gold, the gates are adorned with precious stones, and the light that illuminates everything comes directly from the glory of God. There, sadness, frustration, and fear do not exist. Only complete joy, peace, and true relationships without hurt or distance. Does it sound like utopia? That's the promise for those who choose to inherit eternity. Now think. You spend your life chasing temporary things, seeking happiness that never lasts. But what if I told you that there is something much greater, something that never ends? It's not just a beautiful story. It's a reality offered to you at no cost, but with a clear choice. What you are about to discover will not only change how you see heaven, but may also transform how you live here and now. Are you ready to open your eyes and be amazed at what God has prepared? Have you ever thought about what it would be like to live in a body that feels no pain, never ages, and never dies? Well, that's exactly what the Bible promises about heaven. Glorified bodies like that of Jesus after his resurrection. Imagine never feeling that little knee pain after a busy day, or never looking in the mirror worried about wrinkles or gray hairs. A perfect, eternal body, no longer bound by today's physical limitations. To us mortals, it sounds almost utopian, but the promise is that this will be the new reality. Can you imagine? Something that even the world's best gym couldn't deliver. And more, this body will not get tired. While today you need coffee to get through the week or recover from the gym with some effort, in heaven, it will be different. It will be like having infinite energy, something that seems to exist only in video games but will be real. Remember when Jesus walked, ate, and appeared before his disciples without any sign of exhaustion? It's as if we will have the ability to enjoy amazing activities without the limitation of the human body. An endless journey without exhaustion. Who hasn't wished for a 48-hour day to do everything they love? Be honest. Living eternally without pain, fatigue, or illness is something that warms the heart. Think of those moments when you wished you could run more, play more with your kids, or simply enjoy a sunset without that little backache. In heaven, all these limits will disappear. It's not a vague promise, but a reality described in Philippians 3 verse 21. And now you may ask, if my body will be like this, what else will I be able to do? Now, imagine a physical body that can walk through walls and appear anywhere instantly. Sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, doesn't it? But the Bible shows us that, after his resurrection, Jesus did exactly that. He appeared in a room with locked doors, surprising his disciples. This doesn't mean we will be like ghosts or intangible beings, but we will have real flesh and bone bodies that go beyond the physical laws we know. It's almost as if you could be in the living room and, in the blink of an eye, appear on the beach, on top of a mountain, or among the stars. Do you know that feeling of being trapped by time and space? In heaven, it will no longer exist. Think of the limitations we face today. Traffic jams, endless flights, or even the difficulty of visiting places we dream of knowing. Now imagine a body capable of moving instantly. Who hasn't wanted to make a quick escape to see the sunrise on the other side of the world? It would be like living in eternal freedom, without needing tickets, luggage, or the exhaustion of travel. Liberating, isn't it? And the best part? Although we will have extraordinary characteristics, we won't lose our humanity. Jesus, after his resurrection, ate with his friends and let them touch him. He wasn't a spirit but a glorified being with abilities beyond human comprehension. It will be like living a life that unites the best of both worlds. The tangibility of a physical body with abilities that surpass any limitation. If this already sounds incredible, wait until you discover what more we can experience in our consciousness and relationships. Now think about this. You arrive in heaven and look around. There are people who were part of your life on earth, recognizable but in a perfect version, without the hurts or pains of the past. The Bible guarantees that we will keep our consciousness and identity but be free from the anguish and suffering that marked us here. Remember that dear friend who left too soon or that family member you miss. In heaven, there will be reunions without goodbyes, without tears, without the weight of difficult memories. It's like opening a photo album where all the memories are of love and joy. And more, imagine a life where there are no misunderstandings or fights. Relationships in heaven will be based on perfect harmony, like we've never experienced before. Here on earth, we stumble over disagreements, pride, and even a lack of time for those we love. None of this will be a problem. It will be possible to know people deeply, with a sincerity and connection that we can only dream of today. And the best part? We won't carry the scars of mistakes or regrets because what's past will remain in the past. Additionally, you will have the most incredible opportunity of all, to know God as deeply as He knows you. Have you ever thought about what that means? It's not a distant or mysterious relationship, but complete intimacy. Imagine looking into the eyes of the Creator and understanding the purpose of all things. It's a transformative kind of consciousness that not only changes our view of ourselves, but also how we see the world. And the question that remains is, if our relationships will be like this, what else will we feel? In heaven, there will be no sadness, fear, or worries. Only complete joy and delight in God. Think of the most incredible emotions you've ever felt. That peace when listening to the sound of waves, the joy of a tight hug, or the enchantment of seeing a starry sky. Now multiply that infinitely, because that's exactly what the Bible describes when talking about heaven. Their human desires, which today often lead us astray, will be completely aligned with what is good and perfect. True satisfaction without limits, and more. Did you know that we will continue to feel joy in simple things, like eating or living in community? In heaven, pleasure will be elevated to its purest level. It's as if, at every moment, we could experience a new happiness, greater than the previous one. Here on earth, we worry about tomorrow, about bills, or what people think of us. Those worries simply won't exist. Imagine living without anxiety or a heavy heart. It will be a constant few, like lifting a great burden off your shoulders. Another important point is that emotions in heaven won't be fleeting, as they often are here. They will be eternal and renewed every moment. If today we chase so many things to make us happy, trips, material possessions, or even recognition, in heaven, joy will be full and constant, coming directly from God's presence. Remember Psalm 16, verse 11? In your presence is fullness of joy. Now think with me. If emotions will be like this, imagine the rewards God has reserved for us to live by His side. Here on earth, rewards are temporary. A trophy gathers dust, a prize loses its shine, and even the greatest success can be forgotten. In heaven, rewards are eternal and will never lose their value. Think of how many times you did something good but felt like no one noticed. Helping a stranger, making a sacrifice in silence, or dedicating yourself to something that seems small. In heaven, none of that will go unnoticed. God sees everything and promises that nothing done in His name will be in vain. Every act of love will be remembered and rewarded. And do you know what's most surprising? There won't be any comparison or sadness for what we failed to do. If today we worry about status or what others think, in heaven, this struggle will disappear. Every reward will be received with complete joy, and everyone's heart will be at peace, knowing that everything was perfectly just. It's such a different system from what we know, isn't it? Now, stop to think. If the rewards in heaven are so wonderful, how incredible will the environment be where all of this will happen? There will be no need for the sun or the moon because God's own glory will illuminate everything around. It's like living in an eternal morning, with a soft, constant light that warms the heart. An environment where there is no darkness, fear, or insecurity. Think about the beauty of the most impressive places on earth. The grandeur of the mountains, the vibrant colors of the ocean, or the delicacy of a blooming field at sunset. Now multiply that beauty infinitely. Heaven will be a place where every detail reflects the perfection and creativity of the Creator. There will be no pollution, destruction, or imperfection. Everything will be new and eternal, as if time had stopped so we could enjoy creation in its purest form. It's like catching a glimpse of Eden restored but on a heavenly scale. And the most amazing thing is that it won't just be the scenery that surprises us. The glory of God, so intense and wonderful, will fill every space. Can you imagine living in a place where the light is divine and God's presence is tangible? There, everything that causes us pain or discomfort today will disappear, replaced by an indescribable peace. It's like finally finding the home we've always been searching for but could never truly find on Earth. Now, if the environment is like this, imagine what is necessary to get there and inherit this eternity. What good is it to dream of such a glorious place if we don't make the right choices to get there? Salvation, according to the Bible, is a gift from God, offered by grace but requiring a choice: to accept Christ and leave behind a life of sin. This means recognizing that, no matter how hard we try, we cannot save ourselves. Do you know that feeling of carrying a weight on your back that you can't lift? That's exactly what Christ came to solve. By surrendering your life to Him, the burden of sin is removed, and a path to heaven is opened. Think of an opportunity you cannot miss. It's as if God extends His hand, offering you a ticket to an eternal, perfect, and joy-filled place. Imagine a father offering the best possible gift to his child, asking nothing in return but love and trust. That's how it is with God. Salvation is free but must be accepted. It's not about deserving, but about choosing. While the world distracts us with momentary and superficial pleasures, heaven offers eternal joy that never ends and never disappoints. And here's the warning. Ignoring this call is like giving up something infinitely more valuable than any wealth in this world. How many times do we choose what is temporary, even knowing it won't completely satisfy us? The Bible is clear. Whoever believes will be saved. Whoever does not believe is already condemned. It's not an invitation to fear but to awaken. After all, eternity has already been prepared. The only question is, are you ready to choose? And if the answer is yes, what are you waiting for to take the next step? If everything you just read made you reflect, then it's time to act. Think carefully. Are you truly ready to live an eternity of joy, perfection, and purpose alongside God? Or will you remain trapped in the distractions of this world, missing the chance to inherit something so grand? The decisions you make today determine where you will be tomorrow, and heaven is a reality within your reach. What are you waiting for? Take the first step. Reflect on your life, give control to God, and seek to know more about this incredible promise. Ask yourself, what have you been doing that brings you closer to or takes you further from this future? Perhaps it's time to leave behind what weighs you down, what holds you back, and embrace a new path full of hope and purpose. If you enjoyed this content, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and share it with those you love. That way, you won't miss any videos that can transform your life and the lives of those around you. After all, heaven is such a wonderful promise that it cannot be left aside. Shall we learn more about this truth together?